Hello, today is Friday, November 14th, 2025. I'm Tony Mangino from TC2, and this is Staying Connected. Big news from Verizon yesterday as outlets reported a plan to cut roughly 15,000 jobs, or about 15% of its U.S. workforce, under its new CEO, Dan Schulman. Most of the reductions will reportedly come from non-union management roles, with management ranks shrinking by over 20%. It's the largest headcount reduction in Verizon's history. For large enterprise procurement organizations and network infrastructure leaders listening today, the key question is, what does this mean for your operational stability over the next 6 to 12 months? Joining me today to discuss this reduction in force, potential impacts, and what your organization should do is my colleague here at TC2, Brent Knight.
Hey, hi, Tony. Hey, thanks for having me on today. It's great to be here. And I appreciate you having me to discuss this very significant news coming out of Verizon. And it is significant. More than a RIF, a 15% workforce reduction at a tier one carrier, that signals a systemic restructuring is underway. Enterprise buyers should immediately consider continuity and supplier risk associated with their reliance on Verizon.
So Brent, let's get straight to it. If you're running a global network or procurement for a large enterprise, the real question is, what does this mean for my business critical services?
The immediate concern is staffing stability in groups that support the enterprise accounts. So that could be provisioning, escalation teams, project managers, engineering, managed services, and account support. When cuts impact these areas, enterprise customers feel it quickly.
Brent, what do you think will be some of the immediate impacts of these layoffs?
I'm going to highlight 4 areas that I believe are most likely to feel the impact. First is a slowdown in service delivery and provisioning. Provisioning and engineering teams are often hit first with layoffs or job eliminations. Enterprises may experience delays with new circuits being delivered, stalled transformation programs, slower MACD responses, and incomplete project handoffs. Second, escalation and troubleshooting bottlenecks. Loss of experienced staff results in longer repair intervals, reduced access to senior technical support, and slower escalation paths. Third, account management disruption. Reorganizations and turnover can create instability in account teams, shifting contacts and disrupting operational continuity. The people you worked with before may not be there when you need them in the future. And then fourth, communication gaps. During major restructurings, messaging becomes inconsistent or vague. Enterprises may struggle to get clear updates or stable points of contact from Verizon.
So looking out a bit further, what might enterprise customers expect in the next 12 months or so?
Oh, this is always fun. There are a few key areas to keep on the radar. First is service quality variability. Performance may fluctuate as new or reorganized teams settle in. Second, product roadmap uncertainty. Understanding where Verizon will invest versus simply support is even more important now. Third, increased use of subcontractors. Expect more third-party technicians or outsourced elements in operations and support. And fourth, organizational instability. After major layoffs, voluntary attrition typically spikes. Secondary losses can impact support quality. Oftentimes, we see the most seasoned and experienced people exit the company. And fifth, reliance on accelerated automation. Suppliers often push automation to cover resource gaps. Automation can improve efficiency, but it can also create friction if deployed prematurely or haphazardly.
Brent, my ears really perked up when you mentioned potentially more outsourcing, as we've been talking a lot here on Staying Connected recently about the significant challenges enterprise customers have been experiencing in the aftermath of the Verizon outsourcing to HCL. But back to the discussion at hand, what can and should sourcing and network teams be doing about this today?
There are quite a few things that you should do, actually. First is conduct an immediate support model assessment. Identify your Verizon dependent operations and single points of failure. Create an executive one pager on your Verizon footprint, major dependencies, and in flight initiatives. Second, I would identify and strengthen your escalation paths. Document backups for every critical Verizon account contact that you have, because you can expect turnover here. Third, increase your governance cadence. So move your governance checkpoints from a quarterly to a monthly to track stability. The usual QBR or stewardship meeting with pre-canned slides is not going to cut it any longer. Fourth, review contractual protections around service performance, not pricing, but performance. Understand your rights tied to chronic service issues and service level failures. And finally, I mentioned this earlier, audit your critical in-flight projects. Anytime there's a consolidation of management layers and central functions, this can introduce execution risk. For example, in-flight projects might include complex SD-WAN or SASE migrations, private 5G or campus wireless deployments, or multi-region voice platform consolidations. So really anywhere you're relying on Verizon's program management, solution architects, or professional services, you should assume distraction and churn over the next 6 to 12 months.
Brent, thanks for joining me this morning. And to our listeners, if Verizon is a strategic supplier in your environment today, this really is a moment to lean in and not wait. Verizon remains a large and capable provider, but this level of restructuring is sure to have real impacts over the next year. To our listeners, if you'd like to discuss how the Verizon restructuring might impact your organization, or learn more about the calls to action Brent mentioned, or if you'd like to discuss other technology strategy, sourcing, and cost reduction needs with Brent, me, or any of our TC2 and LB3 colleagues, please give us a call or shoot us an email. You can also stay current by subscribing to Staying Connected, checking out our websites, and by following us on LinkedIn.